They said, "A grocery girl from Grantham will never lead a nation." They were wrong. In the small town of Grantham, England, I grew up helping in my father's grocery store while burying my head in books. I wasn't like the other girls. I had bigger dreams. I studied chemistry at Oxford, one of the few women in my field, but I wasn't satisfied. I told my friends, I don't want to follow the rules. I want to change them. That's when I entered politics. People laughed at me. A woman from a small town. They called me a housewife with no vision, but I didn't argue. I proved them wrong. In 1959, I was elected to Parliament. My speeches, sharp and unrelenting, began turning heads. But the higher I climbed, the more resistance I faced. Could I push through it? I had no choice. They called me the Iron Lady as an insult. I wore it like armor. In the 1970s, Britain was in chaos, strikes, inflation, and unrest. When I ran for leadership of the Conservative Party, the men laughed. A woman could never lead us, they said. I stood my ground. If Britain needs a strong leader, I am that leader. In 1979, I became Britain's first female Prime Minister. I implemented bold reforms, cutting welfare, closing outdated industries, and pushing for a freer economy. Not everyone liked it. Protesters threw eggs at me. Crowds chanted, "Thatcher, Thatcher, job snatcher." But I didn't back down. When people asked me how I handled the hate, I replied, "The economy doesn't cry, and neither will I." They said war was the wrong choice, but I wasn't about to let Britain bow to anyone. In 1982, Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands. My advisors said to negotiate. I said no. This isn't just about an island, I told them. It's about our nation's dignity. I sent the fleet. The war was brutal, but we reclaimed the islands. The world hailed me as a strong leader, but back home, divisions deepened. My economic reforms had revived Britain's economy, but many saw me as ruthless, especially the working class. By 1990, my own party turned against me. They said I was too tough for modern Britain. Betrayed but composed, I stepped down. As I left 10 Downing Street, supporters cried in the streets. I simply said, I gave everything for this country. It's time to go. Would you risk everything to protect your beliefs, even if it cost you everything?